Hello guys and welcome back to another video. So today this is just going to be a video about how to get into a reading habit. So for the longest time I really struggled to get into a reading habit, and I think I did the one thing that you shouldn't do, which is to be too ambitious basically. I think for a lot of my reading I was just I was expecting too much of myself. So trying to read too much in too little of a space of time. What you want to do if you can't really read, there's books you want to read but you're not really reading them. What you want to do is commit to a habit that you can do every day, and it needs to be well under what you would normally be able to do. So, let's say on a good day when you've got a bit of free time, you sit down in a garden with a nice cup of coffee, and you read like 5 pages. Okay, that's kind of a good day of reading. You want to scale that right back to 1 page, and make sure. But the flip side is you have to do it every day, not just with absolutely no exceptions. It doesn't matter if you're it's a really busy day, you got a lot on, you're tired when you get back at the end of the day and you just want to go to bed. You want it to be little enough that you can do it even in those circumstances when you're absolutely knackered and it's the last thing you want to do. And you can do more than that, So like, let's say you read a page for the day, and it's like you're done for the day. You can still read more, obviously, but you just want to get in the habit of doing it every day. And once you do that, over like in the short term, you'll read a lot less, but I promise you'll keep up for so much longer. That which is the important thing, because I think with reading, like with anything else, you really got to play the long game. So that's what I focus on. The other thing I think I would recommend is, if you're struggling to keep to a reading habit, one thing that might be the problem is the actual books you're reading might just be too hard. And that sounds very patronising, but I've had this experience myself. So I was reading like a Anna Karenina, which is like really sort of dense Victorian fiction, and this was really hard, and I managed to persevere with it in my case because I was doing that method I was saying earlier. I was literally reading a page a day, sometimes less than that. Honestly, some days I was so tired I could only manage like a sentence. But that's what I was doing, and then however, I finished that now, and I've started reading 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson, and obviously that's still quite dense, but it's so much easier to read, and I'm absolutely flying through it. And I think that's the thing, really, is you want to find a book that you need it to be interesting. Like that's the main thing. If you really can't find anything you're interested in, then just read something that's difficult. But really try and find something where it's easy to read but still engaging enough for you to want to read it. So that's the golden medium. That's why I think self-help books are a good place to start, because a lot of them are filled with so much wisdom, but they're very accessible as well. So like, yeah, I don't know, like 5 a.m. Club is one that I read. I mean, I don't think it's a fantastic book, but it's just very easy to read, and it was like, oh, fantastic, finished it. What's the next one? So yeah, and the other thing is, if you're on the stage where you're deciding to read books, like you haven't got certain books you're pinned down with, I think start with book you just want to read for the sake of it. Start with books that are easy to read, and quick to read. Like you can finish it quickly, because like a big thing is just getting points on the board. So, if a book's like 50 pages long, like perfect, just read it in an afternoon, and then that's done, and then you can move on to the next one, and you just get that kind of positive feedback loop, which is really good. And that was one of the things I was gonna add. Oh yeah, and like this might sound obvious for a lot of people, but don't read on don't try and read a book on your phone. Like, it's just a horrendous idea. Like, I don't know why, but it just doesn't really work. Just invest in a paper copy, or I guess people have Kindles and stuff, but that's one thing that I think, like, you're just not engaged in the same way. Like, I've tried to read books in the past on my phone. I mean, I actually read 5 AM Club on my phone, but like, it wasn't the same experience. So if you're one of the few people who sort of, I would say it's a minority who made that mistake, but if you're doing it, just get the book. So yeah, that's how I'd sort of get started in reading. I think it's a pretty robust method. Like, once you get started, you just kind of, it becomes part of your identity, becomes part of your day to do it. And then most of it just kind of looks after itself. But yeah, I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you guys soon.